It's the King J, back with another video. I'm not alone today, I've got a special guest because I wanted to talk about the Tekken shop. Introduce yourself, man, for the people that don't know.
So my name is Mike. Some of you know me as Mike Hollow on my YouTube channel. I've been on YouTube for quite a while now, I think since 2018, just doing like gameplay videos, uploading me at tournaments. But I got into like giving my thoughts on fighting games more recently. I was doing it during the pandemic, but I sort of stopped. I opened up another channel with one of my friends, and then I sort of came back to this one. And when Tekken 8 came out, I was sharing my thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8, and it's sort of just spiraled from there.
Nice, man. All right, so obviously we know each other differently. Obviously, the Tekken 8 shop is something that obviously we've spoken about, and I've put a video out talking about what I think about it, and obviously you have your thoughts, and obviously it doesn't fully agree with what I'm saying, and I felt like this is a perfect opportunity for us to kind of like have a discussion about it. Again, I'm the type of person that I like having these type of discussions with people, and you don't necessarily have to agree with me, but let's have a talk, and let me hear what you're thinking, and then you can hear me out, and then we can kind of reason and see where this kind of lies. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the conversation with microtransactions can be quite a contentious one. But obviously, because me and you are friends outside of fighting games, I can talk to you on a level even if we don't agree. It's all like respect and all that.
No, for sure. So my thoughts on it, obviously, for the people that are new and probably might not have listened to the previous video, Tekken 8 has come out, the game's come out. They didn't really talk about there being a shop. The game is now talking about having microtransactions. For the people that don't know, these are like small transactions that you have to use your money to buy in-store stuff to gain. You basically get to keep it, right? So if it's costumes, I don't know, extra titles, emotes, whatever, like this is known to be in games like Fortnite, League of Legends, Call of Duty, and games like that. That's how they kind of make the extra bank, if that makes sense. For me personally, I agreed with this stuff because this stuff, it's not mandatory. It's not like you need to pay to get to the extra part of a story, or you need to pay to play ranked, or any of those things. Like we have a full base game. Like it's we've got arcade quest, story mode, we've got online ranked, we have somewhat I would say the customization is a bit questionable. Like I know people have done some good stuff, but I feel like there could be more. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of stuff you can do compared to how it was in Tekken 7. Tekken 7 was just strictly, if you're not good at online, I don't know where you're gonna place, because obviously you got arcade versus practice, and that's it. So yeah. Me personally, I felt like it's great to have these things in the game and then have extra stuff, because even if they start doing these costumes, it's not like I have to pay for it. I don't have to pay for a Kazuya costume. I don't have to pay for a Jin costume, but it's there. And if I'm willing to pay, then fair enough. Bearing in mind, they still have other updates that they're probably going to do for free, like, patches for the game. And then obviously, I feel like the online practice mode is going to be free. I have no idea what their thought process is with it, but I can only imagine it would be free. But one thing that I want to add before I give it to you is CBT. There was a section where they say, oh yeah, online you can play practice mode, but it's going to be available at a later date. They have now took that out of the game completely. That's not even there anymore from my knowledge. So right. I don't know whether that's going to be, oh, they took it out because it's not in the game, or if they took it out because they're now re-strategizing whether we're going to have to pay for that, right? So yeah, I just agreed because I feel like it's not mandatory. You don't have to pay for it. I mean, well, we do have to pay for it, sorry. We don't have to choose to pay for it. It's kind of cosmetics. It's kind of like Dead or Alive, but Dead or Alive with the pricing was a bit crazy. Street Fighter 6 is definitely crazy with the pricing, because you're paying for color palettes. So you get one costume that's sick, but then for the color palettes, you have to pay more. That's insanity for me. That's like, well, why are we doing this?
Is it like £7-8 for a costume?
Bro, it's £7-8 for a costume. Like I played Marissa, and I bought Marissa's one, and I only paid for like, I think some of the colors. I was just like, yeah, this is getting insane. Like it's insanity. But I don't know whether this is because they're looking at Fortnite, Call of Duty, League of Legends, and saying, oh, we can do this too in our game. And then obviously fighting game community, not everyone, I'm going to put this out there, it's not everyone is thinking this, but everyone's thinking, why should we have to pay when these stuff should be in the game already? Because they're used to us having everything in a full game. So what's your thoughts on that?
So I think there's a couple trains of thought when it comes to the store, how it was implemented, and microtransactions as a whole. I don't have an issue with there being in-game stores, but it depends on the context in which they're implemented. One of the things that I don't like that Namco's done is that this Tekken shop was 100% planned before the game came out. The only way that I would accept the idea that it wasn't was if we're 2 years into the game and they're like, right, we're going to release a Tekken shop, because then it's like, well, if they were going to release it 2 years ago, they would have if they had it. So the idea that they had this shop beforehand and didn't put it in the game tells me that they basically held off because what I'm assuming is they saw the negative attention that other games get with stores and microtransactions. They saw the negative attention that Warner Brothers and NRS was getting, and Capcom, and they thought, we'll hold off on it, we'll give them fight money, we'll give them a decent customization system. I actually think it's pretty impressive what people have come up with, even though there's limited options.
Same.
And to gain points on reviews, you know, to avoid any sort of critique on the game, or to make it look even better, because in this day and age, microtransactions are everywhere, shops in games are everywhere, and a AAA fighting game, where we haven't had a AAA Tekken game since Tekken 5, right? Yeah, this is the first one. Yeah. And then to release it without a store, everyone was like blown away. It was getting all this good praise by reviewers, by YouTubers, and then not a month in for them to say there's a Tekken shop. That is a bit of an underhanded tactic. I think that it takes away the consumer's ability to say that they don't want to buy the game simply because there's a store. I think that's a bit petty personally, but I think people have the right to do that of their wallet. Some people are very passionate about games having stores, and you know, me and you are in our 30s, right? We come from a time where stores just didn't exist in games. We would buy a game and that was it.
100%.
So I understand people not wanting to buy a game for the sole reason that it has a store. So I think they shouldn't have done that. I don't believe anyone that says that this Tekken shop thing wasn't planned prior to this. The Tekken shop was likely planned before the game even came out, before the game was even in development. It was likely planned around the same time the DLC characters were and the story expansions, all that stuff they were talking about. If they've got a roadmap that they're showing us, that roadmap would have existed ages ago. They already knew about it, and there might have been tweaks along the way, but the Tekken shop was going to be an institution in the game anyway. So it's you don't have to buy them. And the reason why I'm not so upset about it, and I was upset about Mortal Kombat 1, is that firstly, games in this day and age are very costly, and Tekken 8 is way more expensive to produce than Tekken 7. You can even see it on the screen.
100%.
Development costs have risen up quite a lot, and within Tekken 8, they've like given us a full package that we've got everything that we would want in a fighting game. All the things we've been complaining about, Harada and Michael Murray and the team sort of listened, and they provided us even down to Tekken Ball. So with a game like Mortal Kombat, where Mortal Kombat 1 has come out broken, there's things not working, there's things missing, there's things they lied about, like they lied about characters being in the game when they weren't. Like Johnny Cage was meant to be a support, a cameo, and it turns out it's Janet Cage. They said there was going to be 24 characters and there was 23 or something like that, and then a whole host of glitches. And I don't mind there being some glitches in the new release, but MK1 went way over the top. Online wasn't working, and then you also tried to charge £10 for a skin, or £8, £9, £10 for a skin that is supposed to replicate a version of a character from the 3D era years ago, which it doesn't actually do. It's not a replica of the actual skin, so you're also ripping us off with that.
Which character was it?
Sub-Zero. They were, I believe this is Deadly Alliance or Deception costume. They did not create it the way it looks in the 3D game, so you're charging us for something that isn't actually a replica of what we were looking for. With Tekken 8, they gave us 32 characters. Each character's got like 3 or 4 costumes. Then you have customization. You can make your own Tekken with the music. We've got Tekken Fight Lounge. Apart from day one, if it not working properly online, it's been pretty much smooth sailing. The only real issue I've got is rage quitters right now. I think they're ruining the experience.
Yep.
But Tekken 8 is a full package, so I think when people get annoyed with there being a shop, I think that annoyance is coming from the fact that a lot of other developers rip us off with half-assed games, and Namco didn't do that. So people feel a little bit, they feel leeway. It's like if you've got a friend and he's always been good to you, and he's kind of does something to piss you off, you'll be like, oh, whatever. And you've got another friend who's constantly getting on your nerves, and then one day you snap over the same thing. I think that's the way people are probably looking at it.
So, whereas, like, so that point, I can kind of, I can understand where you're coming from. Me personally, I'm looking at it from just being an overall fan of the game and realizing that there's a lot of things that people have complained about when it comes to financially with Bandai Namco and Tekken. So, for example, when we look at like Street Fighter 6 having 1 million, 2 million prize pool, and then we look at Tekken 7 having like what 75, I don't even know what the prize pool was for the Tekken World Tour. We look at stuff like that and we're saying, all right, well, they don't have the money for it, they don't have the budget for it. They're now, me personally, they've even said on their showcase that they're going to use it for stuff, they're going to bring it back in, whatever. I'm happy with that. If that's what they're generally saying and they're putting hands up and saying, look, we're going to bring it back into this, obviously production's been costing a lot, fair enough. But if it's like a thing of like, oh yeah, we're just doing this, and yeah, we're going to do loads of like stuff, microtransactions, and you know, it's the Tekken World Tour is not going to be upped in terms of levels, in terms of production, in terms of, you know, the prize pot, all of these things, then I understand. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But we just need to wait and see, because I don't really know what their direction is. Like, it does sound like when you're saying about it, them not having the shop, like not even a month later, that does kind of like, I didn't look at it that way, but it does probably raise the eyebrow to a lot of people, right? Because it's like, well, why didn't you put the shop out when the game first came out? Because, you know, them collaborating with like Uniqlo, that had to have been something that was done and negotiated before the game is even.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
yeah, all of these things were negotiated a long time ago. The Tekken shop has probably existed for a long time. It's just probably gone through changes, and now they're happy to announce it. But the idea that they don't give consumers the opportunity to know exactly what is going to be in the game. What we did know is that there's going to be several seasons with several characters and maybe stages, and I think everybody was okay with that. But they did not make people aware that those microtransactions coming. I was a little shocked when they announced it and they said that there was no microtransactions or there was no mention of it, and it did make me raise my eyebrow. And when they announced the Tekken shop, I wasn't surprised. I was like, this was going to happen. I think the prices are they're okay. Like $4 is like £3 for us, so it's not a massive deal. I only play Feng Wei, and if they end up bringing out Marduk, I'm only going to buy for 2 characters. I'm not buying Jin's costumes. I'll just see people using it online, so I don't care.
That's my angle. Like, there's different sides to it, innit? So like, obviously we got this Tekken shop and we got different sides to the argument, right? Like me, I'm not gonna buy the whole cosmetics for every character, because my interest is my characters. I would probably buy Leroy. If Marduk comes out, I'll buy for Marduk. I don't know about anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the worst thing is that I have, like, for example, I have the Ultimate Edition. I have the Premium Edition. Yeah. I don't even use the Kazuya skin.
This is what I got it for. Had to get it for this.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even use the Kazuya Jin, the Kinjin skin in the Tekken Fight Lounge. But it's something I can appreciate. They've given it to us. But then we got also, like, another thing we got to take accountability for is they're giving us skins for £4. Yeah. How much have we paid for the Premium Edition? And look at the stuff that we get for the Premium Edition, because the base game is £70. To get the DLC and stuff is probably like £20-25. I can't really remember how much it is. And then you get some extra stuff. You get the figure, you get the coin, you get the cards. I remember everyone's got the same cards. It would have been sick if they said, all right, you know what, everyone gets randomly 8 cards out of the characters, because then we could be trading. It would be sick. Like, oh Rob, what, you've got Leroy and I didn't get Leroy. All right, cool, let's trade. Like, that idea would have had some thought process behind it, but we didn't get that. It's just everyone's got the same cards, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the steel case, and then I don't even know what else. And we got so we got a couple of stuff. Me personally, I think that's a lot for what they were charging, in my opinion. But obviously, we're in this era now where premium editions now are costing £250, £300. But I don't personally think it should be that price, right? But it's up to me, right?
Yeah.
It's up to my discretion. If I want to buy it, cool. I can either do that or buy the base game, which is £70, and pay for DLC. So I feel like it works hand in hand. This is just how it is. Like, these games, they're looking at it from a business perspective. They need to make money. Like, yeah, they put a bunch of stuff into the base game, but then there's a bunch of stuff we have to pay for. Like, some of us are not gonna like it. Like, hey, if you said to me, is it free, if a game is free or if there's something to pay for, I would like the game that's free. We all do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, how is it fair on Bandai Namco? And I'm not saying this because, you know, I want to be on their good, but they know I've had my fair share of saying stuff when I don't agree, right? But how is it fair for them as a business to get, you know, people to, you know, pay them to do consistent production on the game? Because remember, there's loads of patches that they're going to be giving out for free. There's loads of cosmetics that they're going to be adding. How are they going to pay these people to then keep on running this game consistently and effectively? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, I completely hear that, and I am, like I said, I'm fine with stores. I'm completely okay with it. My only issue was they didn't announce it beforehand. I think they should have given people that opportunity, but I'm also fine with them adding things in. What I'm worried about is, and I don't want to make this like a conspiracy thing, but is it going to end at cosmetics? Because if the Tekken shop becomes a thing where you're paying for power, then it's going to turn into a problem. I don't think that we're just going to get cosmetics. I don't think it's just going to be jukebox add-ons or little things to improve your experience. I think at some point it could turn into, like, one of the examples I was going to use was EA. They were one of the first people to jump into the microtransaction space, and over time, actually very quickly of EA, it became paying cosmetics, and then it turned into paying for power. And one of the worst things that I saw was Dead Space was one of my favorite franchises, and I was playing Dead Space 3 with my boy, and as you travel through the game, the store's there. You can jump into the store when you get to certain checkpoints, and you can pay for guns to make the game much easier. And that rubbed me the wrong way, and I wasn't aware they were doing that. And my concern with Tekken is, will it just stay as cosmetics and little add-ons here and there, or will it get to a point, because it's a competitive game, right, that we're paying for power? Because not too long ago they released Fuck Around, Leroy, all those Tekken 7 characters, and each one of them were overpowered, and it was like they were designing characters to sell that were overpowered because everyone likes winning, and then strongly nerfing them straight after, right? There was that whole leak with Bandai Namco where we knew Leroy was going to get nerfs. They already knew they were going to nerf him. So it was like pay to win almost, and I don't know where the Tekken shop is going to go from here. So in its current form, I'm okay with it. The Mortal Kombat X did the same thing where they used the skins to fund the tournament, and it actually worked out. I think one skin funded a whole tour, and if that's the route they go down, I'm okay with it. Again, people can choose to pay. If they don't like it, they don't have to buy it. But will it stay that way? And if it doesn't stay that way, it will affect Tekken 8 as a whole, even to the people that are not buying the things in there. Because if it becomes pay for power, then even if me and you don't buy things, we're going to be affected by that model.
So that's a very interesting take on it. Like, me personally, if they're releasing the game or releasing characters in the game and they're still having the 4 costumes, like, you know, these 4 DLCs, if Eddie's getting all 4 costumes and this character's getting all 4 costumes, I'm not gonna lie, the shop is not gonna I don't really care about the shop, if I'm being honest. But if we start getting DLC season 2 and it's like, oh yeah, these characters are getting 2 costumes, and then like it starts changing in that way where it's like, oh well, they've only got 2 costumes, you need to get this costume. It's like, nah, I don't know if I would agree with that. But then there's also other things as well. Like if they start releasing, let's say for example, Tekken 3 pack of costumes, bro, I will pay. I openly said this for Tekken 7. I've openly said if they start releasing Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3 costumes for like in Tekken 7, I would pay. Like, it's not up to, if everyone else don't want to pay, cool, whatever, they don't have to. I would pay because it's what I want, and it's kind of like a fan service to me, because Tekken 7 is Tekken 7. You've got your characters, you've got your costumes, you've got whatever, but now you're also giving all the old school stuff. I would pay 100%.
Yeah, I think that, like, if you want to pay for something, like, there's things that I am happy to pay for. I've said multiple times, if they the opening theme song of the game, you can't use it on the stages. I think that's a bit lame. I would have liked to have used it. So if they said, "Oh, you can buy the opening theme song," I wouldn't mind paying for that. Even Ground Zero Funk or Ground Funk Zero from Tekken 5, it's missing every jukebox, and I don't know why. If Harada decides to put it in, I'll pay for that. That's my favorite Tekken tune.
Yeah, so, it's hard still.
It's the hardest tune. I don't care what anyone says, and they miss out every game. So if they drop things like that, I'll pay for it. But I'm just worried that, because all things in life, if you notice, corporations and businesses, they'll give you something, they'll see it doing really well, and they'll take a little bit away, and they'll take a little bit away, and a little bit, and eventually you've been stripped down. So it could be a thing now where we get, I don't know, like we get Jinpachi or whatever, and he has 4 skins. And then we get Ancient Ogre, and he has 3 skins. And then we get Wang, and he has 2 skins. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I'm agreeing. So that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. If it gets to that stage, then I will definitely raise an eyebrow and be like, hold on, like you gave us with 4, you gave all these characters, and they've all got 4 skins. Like now, why is it like now it's 2 skins? I would definitely, and like I said, for people that's watching this, they know how I'm like when it comes to Tekken. If there's something that I'm like, nah, that's wrong, I will be vocal about it. Like I've never been that person that's like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, they're right, man. They're right. Like Bananako's always right. No, like if that happens, I'll be upset, because right now the way how the game is going and the way how they listening to community and they're giving feedback and they done their Tekken talk and stuff, I think that's absolutely amazing, and it's a step in the right direction, because everyone is talking. Everyone in Tekken 7 was talking and trying to communicate, and it didn't really feel like the communication was there for Tekken Tag 2 to Tekken 7. But then I'd say season 3 onwards, it started to be there. I don't know whether that's because we was all in that COVID era and we was all at our homes, and online was what they needed for people to play the game and still be, you know, making content and stuff like that. So they had to conform with what was going on in the current climate of what was going on. Yeah. But things changed. You started seeing them, like, you know, make characters. Then you're seeing you're seeing more personality from like Michael Murray. You're seeing more personality from Harada. You know, they're coming on the stage. Don't ask me for shit. All of that stuff. Like, it was sick.
Yeah, they tuned in. They definitely, because there was a time that it flipped around. NRS used to do this. They used to be very in tune with the community. Right. And they would go to events and we'd meet them. You know, I had the opportunity to meet some people that worked at NRS. I remember when MK11 came out, I was invited to go down to Coco in Camden, and I got to meet people there. And they used to do these things, even with Injustice. And Harada and Namco, they were hands off. There was no communication whatsoever. None. I think they learned from Tekken 7 that the hardcore / like pro scene, or the people that are tuned into that are like the lifeblood of like keeping the game interesting on like YouTube and Twitter and all that. So it's good to see them having human interactions with people. I think the Tekken talk was really good. Even if people don't particularly like the content that was in it, the fact that they took an hour out to talk to people and have like a human conversation and a joke is great, because I watch the Combat Cast every time it comes out, and that is a load of dog shit. That's the worst. That is the worst thing that they spend more time talking about birthday shout outs and their stupid rivalries rather than talking to the consumers on what we're upset about, and they completely ignore, you know, what we want. So the Tekken team should be given some praise. I haven't really seen much communication from the Street Fighter devs. I don't know what they're doing. It seems pretty quiet on that end.
I think it's quiet because obviously Capcom Cup in it, so I feel like, but that's another story for another day. Capcom Cup and the way how they done things, like, just to quickly kind of like go around on what I think, they done such an amazing job promoting the game. When the game has dropped, I don't think it was the same, purely because there was no patch, but they did say they weren't going to do a patch until a year. I think that kind of hurt the game, because obviously JP, Ken, Luke, these characters, that they were just common at the top. They're always beating you. They were just easy. Throw loops in the game. You had to worry about that. And then people just fell off. It's like, oh, what is this then? Like, you could skip neutral by doing drive rush. It became a problem. And then obviously,
and I think that Tekken, the way they communicated, like Dragunov was an issue on day one. Everyone was like, what is this? Like, it's ridiculous. You know, that doing that slap to your knees and then kick you in the face and then trapping you. And they reacted straight away. And I was like, okay, they're listening. They can see what's going on. With Street Fighter, there was very clear on day one that Ken, JP, and Luke were going to be a serious problem. And they haven't communicated at all. sticking to their guns and saying we're only doing it in a year after Akuma. I think they've moved it up now. I think the patch has come out, but
no, it's still. So basically, they've done some stuff with Ed, but in that Ed build, there's been stuff that's changed, but we still don't have a patch yet.
It's not a real okay. So they unfortunately they've stuck to their guns, which I think has hurt the game. It turned me off the game. I've lost interest. I'm just staying on Tekken now until like Sparking Zero, that Dragon Ball game comes out. I'm gonna be on that, but. I do think that the Tekken team 100% deserve praise for how they're handling it. We'll see if they continue doing this going forward, because they could just disappear one day as well. But they're definitely doing everything right now, and I think that I get why people are upset about the Tekken shop, but I don't think the level of anger is warranted given the product that we've received. I think that I understand why they're upset. For me personally, if you give me a base that is really strong, I'm not upset. If you give me a base that is half-assed, then I'm gonna, be making outrage content about it. So,
and that's what I'm talking about, man. Exactly that. Like, for me personally, they haven't given us content where it's like, oh yeah, we've just got this, and that we deserve more. I've looked at this and I've said, oh shit, like we've got special intros between characters. We have character episodes. We have a main story that was really sick. Like, I thought the main story was really sick. And then we have Tekken Ball that's come back. Now we got some costumes for the character. Like, bro, there is a lot of content, bro. I haven't even played Tekken Ball properly yet. That's what I'm saying, bro. I haven't even seen all the character episodes yet. Like, I've completed the whole 32 characters. I haven't even watched all of them yet. Like, bro, there is so much things in this game. Like, I know people are upset about like the way how the characters are, and some of them are overtuned and some of them not, but we have to take into consideration it's not being released down the arcade. They haven't got no feedback. They've just released it onto console for the first time. This is the first time trying it. I have not even said one word about it, because it's like, I get it. I've been annoyed on stream bare times because I'm playing Leroy, and Leroy's not that great at the minute, but I can't say to them this game is crap. I can't. Like, I might say it when I'm mad, when I'm angry, but like, that's what gamers do, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think people need to realize, but like, because I've been playing Tekken since Tekken 1. I assume you probably have as well. So we know that it used to come out on arcade for years, and then we would get it. I remember seeing Tekken 7 at Green Arcade on YouTube, that Japanese or Korean page. And Akuma, if people think Akuma's bad now, that shit was ridiculous when Tekken 7 first came out. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but it went through several changes. I've seen people annoyed as well that they're charging for characters, and there's not as many people annoyed about this, but to the people that are annoyed about it, I could never be annoyed at them charging for a Tekken character, because unlike Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, Tekken characters have hundreds of moves, and they move on a 3D terrain. So the development cost for a character like that is going to be twice to triple to what Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are dealing with. So if they want to bring out 100 characters in Tekken, I'm only going to pay for the ones that I want to use. I'm only going to pay for Marduk, Jinpachi, or Ancient Ogre. Anyone else, I'm not buying them, because Feng Wei's already in the game. So people are upset about that. I also don't know why, for what reason do you care, other than if you're a pro player and you need to learn every matchup. Other than that, I don't know why people would be upset about it.
I think they said something about like, I don't know fully because I can't remember, but I feel like you can try the character when you're in practice mode, but I don't quote me on it.
I think I did hear something like that, which is really good. That's a pretty good like, if I want to try out a new character, I don't have to buy them. I think that's pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know the full ins and outs of what they're gonna do. They have said it, but I don't really know. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say this is what's going on. But all right, to wrap it up, man, like, so you've already said to me that what your thoughts are on it. Like, I personally think, just to add on to it, is I think people were very, very harsh on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, up to Harada and Michael Murray and the team, because I honestly think they're just trying to see what they can do here to make Tekken 8 sustainable, right? Like, they've released the game. I don't even know what the sales are like. I heard it was decent, but they still need to make this into a running game, like a running cost game, right? So there's gonna be DLCs down the line. I assume there's gonna probably be a side story to the main story at some point. So we might even get more characters. We might get more backstory. Like, they're really looking to make this into a AAA game. Like, I feel like they're going to put their all into this game. So my stance on it is, I get it, the people's frustration from them probably coming from... I feel like some of these lot are like old school gamers that have played Tekken 7, no, Tekken 6, Tekken 5, and they've got everything in the game, and then that's it. But you gotta understand, these times have changed. Like, they are trying to make a running cost on a game, and they're trying to make this be into the mainstream. Like, they've done like several different things. Like, Arcade Quest is for casuals. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not for people that know how to do combos and stuff like this. Is for the casuals, for them to go around on their Steam Decks or whatever and just go and have fun. Do you know what I mean? But for us, like, for people that want like costumes and and on release, nah, they're gonna keep adding stuff to the game. That's just how it goes now with fighting games. This is the model. Whether it gets to like Dead or Alive, where there's like hundreds of flipping costumes, and it's all, or Street Fighter 6 where the costumes are mad expensive, I couldn't tell you, man. I really don't know where they're ending up. But one thing that you lot need to learn is that these people like Michael Murray, Harada, they're humans too. You know, they're just trying to see what they can do. And everyone like grilling them and saying, oh yeah, this is not it, this, that, and the other. It's like, but then if we don't have any of this stuff, then you complain that we don't have any of this stuff. This stuff, it costs money. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, even like, I know there's a couple people that are players that have got costumes for characters that are in old Tekken games. Yeah. And they've paid £50, whatever, or £40, and that's for a costume. You're paying a modder to mod it into the game. They are asking $4. We have to kind of like, I get it, and I know people are gonna be upset, but we have to kind of give them a little bit of leeway where they're saying, all right, cool, this, we've got a full game here. Like, I've never complained about the game and the content in it. Like, we've got everything, the replays, everything. I don't even need to go on back and forth about it, but the game is complete. Everything else that they add, like if it's like, oh, we're getting like DLC like Fakaram and Leroy, I'll be upset, because I don't want to be having to pay for this now brand new character or whatever, and they're just overpowered. I don't want them to go through that route again, because it happened too many times. So they need to get someone to help them on the balancing front. Even with the game now, there is like 5 characters. There's Dragunov, Azucena, Devil Jin, King. There's a bunch of characters that are in the game that are just way overpowered compared to the rest of the roster. So maybe they need to start looking into things like that. Maybe getting testers, you know, maybe some of the pro players, get them to come in and I don't know why they're not getting pro players to test these characters.
I think it's deliberate. I don't think that I think they deliberately make DLC characters powerful to sell them, because people are winning, and I think that's definitely going to happen this time around, because Tekken 8 is on course to overtake Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in sales, which will probably be the first time in a long time, if ever, that's happened. Mortal Kombat is usually the one that dominates, but based on the sales and the trajectory Tekken's going on right now, it's going to dominate the fighting game landscape. So the idea that we're not going to get overpowered DLC characters, for me, that's out the window. I know whoever comes out for DLC, for the first month, they are going to run over everyone, and then we might see nerfs later down the line. That's almost definitely going to happen, because they like selling characters and people like winning, and we've got more casuals playing Tekken than ever. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to compete on Tekken ever again. I'm just here playing on YouTube or playing with like you or my friends. So I'm like, okay, whatever. If it helps the game, then I'll deal with a month of being battered by some DLC character. But it's definitely going to happen. Also, with people being outraged, I think like we need to remember that the people on Twitter are like a very, very vocal minority. Of the 2-3 million people that have bought this game, most people don't care. They're like, oh, there's a Tekken shop. Most people will probably be happy to pay for skins. So it's going to be the FGC lot. It's going to be the ones that are really tuned in, and it's going to be the old heads, like you said, the people that came from the Tekken 4, Tekken 5 era. Most people don't really give a shit. It's not. Harada knows that his only reason he's communicating is because this is his like base. These are the people that have come up with him, and that's the only reason he's communicating. Other than that, they know when they go home to their wives, people are just online talking shit, and they don't care. They don't care.
Nah, I hear it. I hear it. Well, hello, bro. It's been good talking to you, man. For the people that don't know, let them know where they can find you, man.
You can follow me on Instagram at Real Mike Hollow. My YouTube channel is also Mike Hollow, and so is my Twitter, Real Mike Hollow. So Mike Hollow across the board. If you want to follow me, I commentate on or I do give my opinions on Mortal Kombat and Tekken. I think I probably will dive into Street Fighter at some point, but just fighting games in general.
Sick, man. Yeah, no, go check out his content out, man. He's doing a lot of debates and they're quite interesting. So to say the least. So yeah,
rubbed some people the wrong way, but it comes with the territory. Definitely
very opinionated, and it's good because again, like, it's got me. But sometimes I'm in the gym and I'm listening. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And it's like, it's so funny. So again, it's good to have this type of talk where we can just, you know, it's not like, oh, you're wrong, and, you know, throwing like insults and stuff. It's kind of like being an adult, and it's like, all right, you've said this, I've said this, let's have a conversation. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's good to have these stuff, and I think more of these type of discussions, they need to be had, man, for sure. So,
yeah, I think people just need to, I mean, I know that you don't care about like upsetting people or whatever, and I certainly, you know, if Namco don't want to invite me to an event because I said something about their game, then I don't care, you know, like, they're adults. I should be able to have my opinion. I've praised Tekken enough, you know. If there's a few things we don't like, even in the gameplay, you know, the player 2 thing, where it's like on player 2 you can sidestep some moves, on player 1 you can't.
Yeah.
That's just been in Tekken for ages. I don't know why they haven't removed it. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm you know, we'll have debates and we'll see where it goes.
No, for sure, man. Like I said, it's not even like we've said anything bad anyways, but you should be able to say this is good and this is bad. Otherwise, you're never going to get a 100% or a 90% product, because you're only going to listen to people that are saying yes to everything. But then there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be like, no, this is wrong. So you should always be able to just say how you feel. And yeah, we're both opinionated people, bro. We never ever had been these people where it's like, oh yeah, no, this is amazing, 100%. It's always like, yeah, no, this could have been changed a little bit, but this is good though. It builds up a good conversation, and it builds up content like this, man, for sure. So
100%, man.
Yeah, man. You lot, I hope you lot like this that are watching on the channel. If you lot didn't, you lot can still leave a comment in the comment section down below. You know where it is already. I like to hear what you lot are thinking. You lot can let me know. I know the first video you lot are like, oh, he said this, that, and the other. And you're probably mad at me, but
I saw your comments.
Yeah, I didn't even look to them properly yet. But bro, I just know that they're probably gonna. I'm opinionated. Like this, I just say what I want and how I feel. Like, I'm not scared to say how I feel just to keep a community or audience. Like, you lot should just be able to kind of take me for what I am. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, everything's good. Then me and you have a conversation, and then I say, oh no, I didn't really like that. Then I'm fake.
So, yeah, no, 100%. That's why you've almost got 100,000 subscribers, because I think people know that even if they don't agree with you, you're being real with them. So I don't care how many people are upset with an opinion. If I feel something, I'm going to say it. It is what it is. If Harada and Michael Murray get upset, they're grown men. I don't think they will. They don't seem like children or babyish like some other developers. But if they did, then that's their own problem.
For sure, man. All right, you lot. We're done. Appreciate you lot. But yeah, let me know. And the comment section is for you lot, man, right now. So yeah, take it easy, everyone. Peace.